Hey, Travis, how disappointing was it to have the game go the way it did when you had an early lead again here tonight?
Yeah, very. I mean, it's the only way to say it. It's very disappointing, very upsetting.
What did you see from your group that led to the way things developed in the third period?
Well, we didn't play good enough to win, flat out. We had a good first period, a couple goals off some face-off draws. Unfortunate that we didn't come into at the end of the first with a 3-0 lead, but still a 3-1 lead. I thought the second period they started to get some momentum. We took a couple penalties in the game that I didn't like. Talked about getting the power play advantage against this team and being disciplined. And, they didn't score right away on the first couple, but you could see it got them going in the game. I thought Edmonton outplayed us in the second and then marginally. And in the third period, 5 minutes in, it's a tie game. We first shift, we have a couple missed assignments. I didn't like parts of that shift. And then we take a penalty and they score, and all of a sudden you're in a game and they get the lucky bounce for the winner.
We'll go now to Farhan Lalji.
Travis, we've come in after the previous 7 games and talked a lot about some of the good things that you guys have done. Is it hard to take any of those positives tonight, given the way it went?
Yeah, it is, to be honest. I didn't think we were as good tonight as we have been. Quite frankly, I don't think we had some individuals that didn't play good enough tonight. And yeah.
You mentioned it earlier. Just it would have been nice to have gone into the intermission with a 3-0 lead. How difficult was that first goal?
I mean, it would have been nice. It's easy to say that, but that I don't think that affected our group at all.
Next up is Joey Kenward.
Travis, I think in 4 of your last 5 games, including these last 2 here, you've started out with at least a 2-0 lead. Can you put? I know each game is different, but can you put your finger on as to why teams are getting back into games against your club? Right.
I don't think we keep our pace up. I think certain parts of our game we make some mistakes. Maybe we get a little. I don't like to use the word fancy, but we don't make the right decision at certain times of the game when you have a lead and you can give a team life just by turning a puck over. I think they want to do the right thing, but there's a couple. I'm not going to name names specifically, but there's a couple key plays that all of a sudden it changes the whole momentum of the game. And it doesn't take much for a team that has the firepower with their players on their team, but to turn the tide quick. And you could feel it. You could feel all of a sudden their team started feeling good about their game.
When McDavid tied it up at 3, and that's a deflating power play goal against, were you surprised that your team just didn't seem to have the urgency to respond? It really seemed like Edmonton still put the foot down and just.
I thought Sutter's line gave us some good shifts after that. I thought Horvat's line had a couple in their zone. And after that, I thought the third period we probably deserve what we got in the third period. They were a better team in the third period for sure.
Next up is Vic Nazar.
Travis, you've talked in seasons past, and you just kind of mentioned there just a second ago, but like when opponents raise their compete level and the importance for you to match that and raise your own, is that something that stands out to you so far this year? Is that a focus issue? Is that a commitment issue?
I think we've come out and played very strong in the first period with a lot of energy. And, when you get down in a game, you do raise your game. And we just haven't been able to raise ours to the level we need to be. And whether that's making the odd mistake, whether it's not being able to handle the pressure. The pace of the game sometimes goes up, and it's a combination of. It's not just one thing. I'm not saying our guys are competing hard. They're just not able to match the level. Haven't been able to match it in some of these games, and I thought tonight was a good example. Not so much in the last. Not so much last game or any other. There was a couple of games ago where we blew a lead. I just thought it just happened in those games, but I thought tonight we didn't raise our game high enough to match how they were playing, and you could see it, you could feel it. Our guys were talking about it, that they had to raise their game, and it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it, and we didn't tonight.
I'm curious, just your general philosophy too. We didn't see you use one tonight, but just on calling timeouts, when can they be effective? When is the right time to use them?
It's funny now with no fans, you almost don't need one because you're talking to your team the whole time. As soon as the puck goes in, there's not that lapse of 20 seconds or so for the rink to quiet down. I got them together quick after both goals, really. So I didn't feel like we needed it. There was still 15 minutes left in the game. And I didn't think I needed it. And a lot of the things that you're going to say, some of your leaders are saying on the bench already. And that's part of it this season with the quiet building.
Thanks.
Okay, last hand raised here is Daniel Wagner.
Travis, early in the season, one of the phrases that kept coming up again and again was puck management. It seemed to be an issue especially in the second and third period, and a little bit at the end of the first, where just getting the puck out of the defensive zone seemed to be a priority, and it just wasn't happening. Are you seeing some of the same issues?
Those, like when we talk about puck management, I guess you can, it's different parts of the rink. Some of it's decision making with the puck. I thought we had a couple young forwards that made a couple plays that they would have liked back just with their decision making. And some of it is your ability to get a puck out under pressure and your skill level to do that. Getting places quick enough to give yourself enough time. Players talking. I think the ones you're talking about, Daniel, are ones that you just got to get the job done and get it out. They're not trying to make a fancy play in that area. That's not necessarily a decision that they're making. The ones through the neutral zone or in the offensive zone are more of puck management issues, where I think we've had that in the past, where we've tried to be too cute in our game. There was probably two that I didn't like for sure that come to mind in the one in the first, one in the second, and but I thought we didn't handle their pressure as well when they started pinching. Teams start to do that when they're down. We didn't handle the heat very well, and we lost some puck battles when they were pinching to make us spend more time in our zone. And bottom line is we weren't good enough to win. In some of the games that we haven't come out on top before, and I've said that we've played well and probably deserved a better fate. That might have been the case, but tonight we just didn't flat out play well enough to win this hockey game, and probably deserve what we got tonight.